What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam, back at it once again. Hashtag homeless, day 68. I got my quiet-ish bench here in the park in Jamestown that I normally like to try and sit at. It's very early this morning, because I have to go to an appointment, and I have a couple of hours before I have to go to this appointment, so I'm not in a hurry at all. I left the homeless shelter before breakfast this morning just so that I would have time to come down here and do this. It helps me to get this done earlier than later. And so we're just going to jump into it. You know, there's a saying, or they say, expect the worst and hope for the best. And I don't know how much I agree with that saying, that you should always run around expecting the worst, but in my lifetime, that's basically what I do. I have this mechanism inside that tells me always try to think of the worst case scenario, no matter what it is that you're up against, no matter what challenges you face today, no matter who you have to meet with, what you have to do, etc., etc. And so I've got an appointment today in a couple hours. I'm not looking forward to it, but I think that I already know myself enough to know that any of those thoughts that I'm having about, what's the worst thing that could happen today, they're just unfounded. And, expect the worst, hope for the best. I don't like that saying. I don't like... A lot of even mental health professionals will tell you that that's a good way to live your life, and I don't necessarily agree. The Bible even talks about the power of the tongue is life and death, and that, there's a lot of verses in the Bible that talk about the thoughts that you have can manifest themselves into reality. So if you walk around expecting the worst and having dark thoughts all day, you can manifest bad things into your life just by dwelling on it too much. You should expect the best. I feel like that's the message from the Bible, is that your faith should prompt you to always expect the best right out the gate. But we also know there's a lot of stories of God's chosen people themselves suffering greatly in the Bible. We have Joseph, whose own siblings, they threw him down a well and they left him for dead, and he ended up in Egypt, and because of a dirty whore who he wouldn't sleep with, she had him thrown in prison for, I think it was 10 years. And then eventually he became second in command in Egypt and was reunited with his family when they came crawling on their hands and knees to him because they were all starving in the desert during a famine. And, Joseph ended up all right. And, there's a lot of stories like that. Jesus himself had to suffer more than most people can ever imagine having to suffer in their lifetimes. Not many people these days are being hung up on a cross with nails driven through their arms and legs. So you always gotta keep that into perspective, that no matter what I'm facing today, it's nothing. It's really nothing. And so I'm just at I can't say I lost sleep over it, but I'm having thoughts about today, and I just want to get to the end of the day and just take a sigh of relief that it's all over, and I'll talk about it later. I don't want to get into the details of today, but there are things I can get into the details of. And since we're on the topic of Jesus and God and his expectations of us, yesterday I've talked about this book at least 3 times during these videos, and the book is called Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. And I was reading it yesterday during the afternoon after some things had happened. And once again, it just lined right up exactly with what I was dealing with. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to read you the entry word for word, and then I'm going to talk about it. So the entry states, "Find freedom through seeking to please me above all else. You can have only one master. When you let others' expectations drive you, you scatter your energy to the winds. Your own desire to look good can also drain your energy. I am your master, and I do not drive you to be what you are not. Your pretense displeases me, especially when it's in my service. Concentrate on staying close to me at all times. It is impossible to be inauthentic while you are focusing on my presence." And so that spoke to me in two ways. One, because yesterday I was clowning around with you guys, joking around about the optimal video length for these YouTube videos. And I was making jokes about how your comments were pushing me this way and that. And your comments really didn't have anything to do with the video length the other day when I posted an hour and 20 minute long video. However, I would say that your comments about wanting to see longer videos, they definitely enabled me to be okay with posting a long video, because I was really against doing that. When I started doing these videos, my original goal was to keep them between 10 and 15 minutes like you're supposed to on YouTube. And they just kept getting longer and longer and longer, and most of the feedback in the comments, which are, you were the ones that actually watch these things from beginning to end, you were telling me to make them as long as you want. And pretty much the statistics on these videos, they show that somebody just kind of waved, walking a dog waved over here, so lost my train of thought for a second, but the statistics show on these videos, and it's not uncommon for videos of any genre or nature or length, that within the first 30 seconds, almost half of the people who click on the video to watch it drop off and stop watching. So 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to grab 50% of the audience's attention. Some of you in the comments yesterday were joking around about the short attention span of people, and that's how short their attention span is. And when somebody clicks on a video and they see a guy holding a phone, talking into a microphone, a podcast with a face, these are the people that need to be impressed by fancy graphics, dancing logos, special effects, music, and all that kind of attention-grabbing stuff for people with short attention spans. So that's why when I check my stats on any video, it shows that half of the people are gone before 30 seconds is even finished. So they're not getting, they're literally getting, it's hashtag homeless, it's day whatever, and blah, 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 and I'm out. So they're literally not getting any of the content of the video. And so that right there tells me, I don't care. They watched the ad, I'm getting paid, so do what you got to do. If you're in a hurry and, maybe they clicked on it because of the thumbnail, and then they're like, what's this? Oh, this is crap, I'm out 30 seconds in. So it is what it is, but you guys kind of enabled me and made me feel comfortable with going past that 15-minute short attention span mark. And I'm going to continue to just do whatever the content tells me to do at this point, because it really doesn't matter. More and more people are coming to the channel. More and more people are watching from beginning to end. But statistically, and this all has to do with how much the algorithm will promote you and all of that stuff. So this is like the game that you play on YouTube. You're constantly trying to play this game so that this magical algorithm robot will promote your content and help you grow. But that goes right back to this thing I just read to you. When you let others' expectations drive you, you scatter your energy to the winds. And that's exactly what's happening when you you're trying to chase after what everybody wants you to do, and you're just scattering yourself to the wind because everybody has a different opinion of what you should be doing. And so you need to really just focus on what God wants you to do. The second thing that happened yesterday that I actually talked about in the morning, I tried looking for 5 apartments, since I'm required to find 5 apartments every week for social services. And there are not 5 more apartments in all of Jamestown. I've found them all. I looked at every single apartment website and source that I could find, and I've already reached out to every single landlord and every single apartment that's listed right now. So it's game over. It's game over. So I threw up my hands. I'm like, forget it. I'm not doing this week. I'm not wasting my time with this. I don't even really know how to waste my time with it. What do I need to do? Start looking for apartments in other cities and other states? Like, go to Buffalo, which is not even in the same county here. So the county's not going to pay for me to have an apartment in Buffalo, I'm pretty sure, because that's where the funding would come from if they're going to help me out with the first month's rent and such. But I sent a message to the rep at the social services saying that I can't find any more apartments because I've found all 10 of them. I did not say this to her. I kept it pretty professional. But right now, I feel like I'd be more productive running around Jamestown trying to find all the Pokemon with that stupid game everybody was playing than trying to run around Jamestown looking for an apartment right now, because I found them all. I found all 10, and that's all there is. And, once again, find freedom through seeking to please me above all else. You can only have one master. When you let others' expectations drive you, you scatter your energy to the winds. And so, do I let the others' expectations drive me? This person who essentially expects me in a city where I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends here at all. I don't know anybody. I don't have the inside scoop. I've been asking people here and there, do you know landlords that don't list their apartments on these websites? And I'm just kind of getting brushed off. And there's that whole situation where I could be moving to Texas within a month. I could be in Pittsburgh. I don't even know where I'm going to be. So I told these people, I'm done. I'm not doing it. I didn't turn in my papers yesterday. This is the first time that I've pushed back and just said, I'm not doing your busy work anymore. I can't do this. So they might be taking away my funding. They might be taking away, they pay money to the homeless shelter. But like I said, there's no more apartments left in Jamestown. Every single apartment listed everywhere are places I've already called and emailed about. If I were in a city that wasn't a dysfunctional hellhole, there would be tons of apartments. Buffalo, New York, has hundreds of apartments listed all the time. Pittsburgh has hundreds of apartments listed. Jamestown has 10. 10. Well, 10 apartments in the price range that social services says I have to stick with, or the search won't count. And I have to take screenshots of these things and send them along with my papers that I have to fill out to prove where I found the place and all. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they want me to do. And sometimes I feel like they throw hoops in front of you and they put things in front of you that they know that you can't do, because then it gives them a reason to cut your funding. And they're trying to get as many people off the dole as they can. So, whoops, you got him in a technicality. We can pull his food stamps now. We can pull his public assistance. We can get rid of all that now. So, I don't know what they're going to do, but it's one of those things I was just talking about. Expect the worst and hope for the best. I'm already expecting the worst, even though I have not heard back from these people. And I don't know what's going to happen. But my mind is just somehow magically trained to expect that the worst is going to happen. And I don't even really know what the worst is. I'm just making it up as I go. And so these are the things I have to tell myself when my mind starts going down that path. And maybe you experience the same thing. maybe you watching this video, you go through these kinds of things yourself. And so for me, I just constantly have to say, look, this is what you're going to do. You know, this is how your mind works. So I'm consciously telling myself to just, you know, yeah, it is what it is. You're going to expect the worst. But that just because you're expecting it doesn't mean that it's real. So do your thing, go to your appointments, talk to the people you got to talk to, and see how it goes before you have all these unfounded expectations. And just try to get through the day. God's got your back. How many times, and another thing that I do is I kind of rewind in my mind, how many times did I expect the worst and yet either the worst didn't take place or nothing negative took place, or I was in a pickle of a situation and God himself pulled me out of it and put up his walls of protection. And, you know, I was saying yesterday, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That doesn't mean the weapons won't form. The weapons are going to form. They won't prosper. That's all. So, you know, beyond looking for this apartment, I don't know what else to do in terms of the apartment search. I'm trying to find a job. I don't want to find an apartment before I find a job. Like, this is so ridiculous. I don't even know why they have me doing it. I don't know what else to do, but I'll find, excuse me for a second, I gotta itch my arm. That's why the phone's going crazy. I don't know what else to do. I'm going to find out soon what's going to happen as a result of no longer doing that part of my busy work, but I don't care. I just don't care anymore. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's pointless. It's not like I'm in a position to attract more people to start rental property businesses here in Jamestown, New York, so that I can find 5 more apartments in a town that doesn't have them. So, done. Forget it. I'm done. I'm going to, whatever happens at this point. I made my decision. So the adjustment on the job search front, we're going to move to that. Most of you know that I'm struggling to find a job, and I'm having the most ridiculous job search I've ever experienced in my life. But I can say that I talked about on Sunday making adjustments to my resume so that I could cinch up some of the employment gaps in the timeline and make it look like I've been continuously employed. And it seems to be working. It's going to take a few weeks before I can really tell if it made a big difference. But yesterday, I had a company reach out to me with a job opportunity that I had not found on my own. An actual human being reached out to me from a company. It wasn't some AI-driven nonsense. And I responded really quickly to this because it was a good opportunity, but I've yet to hear back from them. But sometimes you have to give people a day or two. And I think this company's based in Boston, so they're in the same time zone, but you have to give people a day or two. I have an interview on Wednesday this week that I had to go back and forth with a guy about for a couple of days last week before we finalized it and got it on the schedule. And it should have been a click, click, 2-click, mouse click thing to set up this interview. But once again, in that situation last week, I had it in my head, all these crazy scenarios about why I couldn't schedule the interview. And I even said a couple of them to my best friend, and he agreed that I could be onto something with one of them, and I'm not going to get into what it was or why, but it was a kind of a ridiculous assumption. And Friday, I believe it was Friday, right at the end of the day, I was actually walking to go get something to eat, and I looked at my email, and all of a sudden the guy had gotten back to me probably at the end of a busy week and said, hey, I fixed that problem. Why don't you go try to book that interview again? And I went and I was able to book the interview and click, click, and it was done and we're good. So there was, once again, these things that I was thinking in my head were completely unfounded. my mind just does that. I'm a creative guy. I make my living by being creative and coming up with crazy ideas out of nothing. I can sit with a blank sheet of paper and come up with 20 ideas for whatever it is that you're looking to do. Whether you want to build a website, you need a logo for your business, you need marketing materials, you need a video, whatever it is, motion graphics. I coming up with something from nothing is what I do my entire life. So it's not really a far stretch of the imagination to say being able to come up with all kinds of ridiculous assumptions about what's going to happen today from nothing is just part of that same thought process. So there's that. Yesterday I also got a phone call about a cleaning job. And this place is less than a 5-minute walk from the homeless shelter. It's blocks away. It's very close. And if that job were to pan out, I would be more than happy to take it. To be able to work by myself and clean a building every day, that would be fine. I would be fine with that for now. It's very close to the Crazy Tim Hortons and all the other places down there where I go to use the Wi-Fi. And it's close enough to the homeless shelter that even if a big boy job interview came up, I could probably slip out of this job and go find a quiet place to conduct an interview and then slip back to the job in the span of what it would take to take a long lunch break or whatever. So it really all depends on how these people are. But I called the woman back after she left a message, but she said she was busy and I would have to call back later. And then I didn't hear from her for the rest of the day. And so of course my mind goes this way and that, but unfounded, and so I'm not going to let that, I'm not going to let that have any effect on me. Those thoughts in my head, I have to treat them like the trolls down in the comment section. That, yeah, I read them. Yeah, I acknowledge that you're there. Yeah, I see you. And that's it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over this because it's unfounded and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to try and call her at some point today if I don't hear back from her. And granted, I believe this is a job application I filled out 2 weeks ago. So if it took her 2 weeks to get around to sending me or to getting in touch with me and leaving me a voicemail because I didn't hear the phone ring, then I can assume that she's probably lackadaisical enough to take a while to get around to calling me back. But really what it boils down to is I've got some positive things happening. And really, I've yet to go a single day of being homeless where I did not have at least one job opportunity waiting for a decision to be made on. I'm still in the running for that big software job. So there's so many things going on, and I'm just trying to be patient because I would really like to see the dam break and positive things start to move forward in life and to get out of the homeless situation instead of the homeless situation getting worse. So we can talk about video retention. I touched on that for a minute. The hour and 20 minute long video that I posted on Sunday doesn't have a retention graph showing yet. And sometimes it takes a few days before YouTube will generate a graph for a video. But as of the last time I looked, the average view time on that video, the average view time overall was 14 minutes and 42 seconds, which lines right up with the YouTube attention span of 10 to 15 minutes. I talk about it often. 15 minutes is around the maximum length that most people will watch on a YouTube video because they're just not willing to sit still and watch any longer. And that's any video at all. But it's not a hard and fast rule. People who base their entire YouTube channel on focus groups, analytics, and studies of what works and what doesn't, instead of putting together content from their heart and their own creativity, they're following that 10 to 15 minute rule steadfastly. Let's see, YouTube. I ran into the same bug on YouTube yesterday that I've experienced now about 4 times in the last 2 months. So what happens is, and this is good for backup purposes, not just for Rumble, but I need to download each video after I upload it and after I add the thumbnail and the description and do all the things that help it along. YouTube compresses the video after it's uploaded. And Rumble, every time I try to upload a video to Rumble from my phone, it fails. And it instantly fails. It doesn't even allow me to try to upload the video. It's an instant failure. And so I have no problem uploading the videos to Rumble from a desktop computer after YouTube compresses the video. So for me, it's a convenient thing to upload the video to YouTube, get it all up and launch it, and then hit a button in YouTube which downloads the video to my Mac. And then I can just take that downloaded video and push it up to Rumble along with all the other stuff. And so it's very convenient. I just go into YouTube Studio, I hit the download button, and I get a nicely compressed MP4 that I can upload to Rumble without any trouble. Well, once or twice a week now, it seems, YouTube, the download button won't work. It's just broken. It'll take you to a blank error page. It'll refresh the page that you're on without downloading the video. It'll just do some random thing, and it'll say, it won't tell you what's wrong. It won't tell you why. It's just broken, and it won't work. So that was a problem until I figured out, an efficient way to deal with it. So now when that happens, what I'm going to do is I transfer all the videos from my phone to my computer. And I have a faster way of doing that than I ever had before using OpenMTP. I talked about that in another video. So now I can do it over a cable via USB, and it goes really fast. I don't lose any time. I don't really lose any time there because I can transfer all of these video files now in 15, 20 minutes versus the hours that it used to take doing it over a Wi-Fi connection. And so, but then I have to take the raw video file from the phone, open it up in Adobe Premiere, and then export the video using the same general compression and bitrate settings that YouTube uses when they compress and optimize a video when you upload it to their platform. And then I can use that optimized export to upload it to Rumble for all 10 followers that are all bots, giving me 5 to 10 views on every video that I post to Rumble. But I'm just putting it on Rumble as a backup. 1 is none, 2 is 1. So if I disappear from YouTube, you can find me on Rumble with the same username. But right now, Rumble's not doing anything for me. But when that bug hits on YouTube, it's going to add about an hour to my daily activities around this YouTube channel and all the stuff I'm doing with the photography and whatnot. But at the same time, I'm accomplishing a housekeeping task of keeping my cell phone clean with enough storage space. Every time I wipe out the videos on this phone, I free up enough storage space for about 10 days worth of video recordings. So if YouTube doesn't give me this bug for the next 10 days, I'm going to have to stop and pull the videos off the phone. But if it doesn't, and YouTube just allows me to keep that same workflow in place, then I'm not going to have to worry about it. So moving on. Is anybody on Facebook anymore? Anybody? Any of you watchers, are any of you on Facebook? I am going to start trying to get into a routine of making at least one post per day on various platforms. But whenever I log into Facebook, I'm like, wow, this app is terrible. I can't wrap my head around how terrible Facebook is compared to when I ditched it in 2017. And I ditched Facebook in 2017, and 2024 is the first time I've come back to that platform to see what it's like. And it's completely unrecognizable anymore compared to what it was. And it's a total shit show. I can't find any of my former friends on the platform. I can't find anybody that I know in real life on that platform anymore. And I think that everyone I ever knew has abandoned the platform. But regardless, I'm going to start posting photography to Facebook, and that's it. Nothing more. I may try to reconnect with some old friends and use it to message them back and forth, but I'm not posting anything other than photography, and I'm not going to invest any more time into it than a daily photo post. Instagram is some of you are following me on Instagram. I still have probably less than 10 followers. I don't know. It's very minuscule, but a few of you showed up on Instagram from this channel to send me direct messages through Instagram, and that's fine. That's cool. That gives me a reason to check in every now and then. I'm going to try to upload 3 photos at a time to Instagram. I'm not going to worry about timing or, following the Instagram formula and all that nonsense. I'm just going to put a portfolio of photos on there. And that's it. Photographs only. That's it. So if you guys want to check out photography, you can find me on Instagram in the description below if you're on YouTube or Rumble. So the worst 5 social media apps that I'm using right now, and they're ranked in order of the worst. First, TikTok. TikTok's the worst. It is hands down the worst app I've ever used. It's buggy. You push a button and the app doesn't do anything for 20 to 30 seconds. Every time I try to upload a video, it tries to force me to add some corny music in the background. Like some clown music or something like that, and it's a process just to get the video up there. Once the video starts uploading, it's pretty stable and it shows up, but now my TikTok channel has reached the point where I'm getting 5 views on a video, and that's it. For a while it was in the 200s, it was in the hundreds range. Now it's at like 5, probably because I talk smack about TikTok and their algorithm picked up on that and shadow banned me. So I don't know. My TikTok channel's never going to grow. I'm just putting the videos there so you got another place to see them. That's it. That's it. Number 2 on the worst social media platforms, Facebook. It's terrible. It's terrible. I tried to post a photo yesterday and it was a complete disaster. I can understand why people are ditching that platform. It's a confusing mess it's a crazy confusing mess. In fact, the only reason I signed up for Facebook in the first place in 2024 was so that I could use Facebook Marketplace to look for apartments, and I also had some things I was trying to sell on Craigslist, and Craigslist in this region gets no action at all. But after I got kicked out of the ex-girlfriend's apartment, I just left all that stuff sitting in a pile and told her to do what she wants with it because there wasn't anything I could do with it anymore. So there was some money I threw away, but there's nothing I can do about it. Number 3 on the worst social media platforms, Instagram. Oh my, another one. Instagram used to be full of good photographers and good photography, and I used to follow lots of photographers and get all kinds of inspiration about photography, and now it's just a shit show of women dancing around in thongs, and it's basically TikTok. It's TikTok now. They turned Instagram into TikTok because they thought that's what they had to do to keep it from dying. And so this Mark Zuckerberg and his companies, man, they suck. They suck. Instagram is just another disaster. It's terrible. Terrible app. There's so many things there's so many things wrong with it. I don't even know where to begin. Number 4 on the worst social media list is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just, it's a disaster. It's hard to use. From a user experience standpoint, it's a complete mess. So many things wrong with it. I don't want to spend 20 minutes talking about it. But the worst thing I hate about LinkedIn, I've already said it, is all the cringe-inducing corporate brown nose posts where everybody's just trying to say, look at me, I'm a good person, look at me, I'm so good, I'm a good employee, look at me, I'm a good employee, look at me, I'm a diligent worker, blah, blah, blah. Just shut the fuck up, you're fake. You're all fake. I'm so sick of your brown-nosing corporate bullshit that you post every day on that cringe-inducing platform. It's just, it's disgusting. let's play. I mean, we could play a game here on the comment section below. If any of you are on LinkedIn, copy and paste. You don't have to copy and paste the full post, because I notice a lot of these corporate brown-nosing posts are like 20 pages long. People type so much garbage in these posts that it's like, okay, I just roll my eyes and I don't want to read any of it. I don't really want to read the first sentence, but go to your LinkedIn profile, in your feed, copy and paste a couple of paragraphs from the first post in your feed and put it in the comments below with a headline that says, the LinkedIn game. We'll play the LinkedIn game today and see what happens and see what kind of cringe-worthy stuff. And it'll be the first thing you see as soon as you log in there. It'll be right at the top. For me, once again on LinkedIn, the only thing I'm posting on LinkedIn are photography, are photos. I'm posting them in various groups. Sometimes the photos get a little bit of engagement, and sometimes they get absolutely no views, and that's okay. I'm posting some photographs just so that there's something in there for people to see when they come to my profile, because I'm not going to be posting some brown-nosing corporate nonsense about, here I am at a trade show, here I am kissing someone's ass. And then there's always someone who's saving an animal, and I'm all for saving the animals. I'm not, but every time I log into LinkedIn, there's somebody showing a video of how they saved a dog, or they saved a cat from drowning in a well, or they saved a baby seal from being tied up in fishing line, or something like that. I see these things like 5 times a day. Every time I scroll through LinkedIn, oh, here's the animal rescuer, and here's the corporate brown noser, and oh, here's the guy at the trade show, and here's the business optimist who just is spamming everybody here in the feed, trying to get his consulting business off the ground, and that's what it is. Those are the posts that you see there. And then number 5 on the absolute worst social media platforms right now, Rumble, the video platform. And the reason why I say that is because right now Rumble is the only viable competitor to YouTube, and the people that run it don't give a shit. They could grow that platform exponentially because of the problems with YouTube right now, and the only content that the people who run Rumble care about and promote for their platform is right-wing Republican grifters who got kicked off other platforms, and that's it. Those are the only people on Rumble who get views on their videos. And I've read stories about people with hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube starting a Rumble channel and not even being able to get 10 views on a video. Now, how is that? If the content that they're putting out is good enough for YouTube to allow them to have and help them gain 100,000 followers, and then they start posting that same content to Rumble and they can't even get 10 people to look at it, that's Rumble's fault. That's not the content creator's fault. That is Rumble's problem. And a platform like that, I've seen this happen more than once. A platform like that will not grow beyond what it already is if there's no possibility for new people to show up to the party and gain traction on their content. It's good. Rumble's going to die. Rumble's going to die unless they address this problem. And it's not just me. I'm pretty sure if anybody goes to Rumble and tries to start something new, they're going to get dumped on. And they're not going to get any views. I'm glad that I put my stuff on YouTube, because it kind of proved that I didn't have that bad of an idea after all. If I had just put stuff on Rumble and said, oh, I don't like YouTube because of the censorship and all that kind of stuff, I would have given up on this. I would not have continued to produce a video every day if every time I log into my Rumble account, I see, oh, it got 2 views yesterday. Oh, I got 3 views yesterday. Oh, my homeboy over in Seattle watched a video yesterday. Oh, my homeboy in Boston checked out a video yesterday. The people I know in real life came and watched a couple. Like, it wouldn't have been worth the time, and I would have gotten discouraged and quit. But now I'm just using Rumble as a backup. So, that covers all of the stuff that I had to talk about today. And I'm not doing this right now because you guys blasted me in the comments over and over again. One of you trolls made a comment about if this guy if complaining was an event in the Olympics, if complaining was an event in the Olympics, this guy would get the gold medal. Talking about me. And I'm like, thanks for the endorsement. The endorsements are the only reason I joined the sport to begin with. But, yeah, I complain about some stuff. Like, you should. Like, we live in this society where if you say anything negative and you complain about anything, you're looked at like you're some sort of pariah, like there's a problem with you. And have you ever stopped to consider that the people in charge, the people that run things in this world, they want you to feel like that, so that when they're telling you to shut up and eat bugs, that you're going to be happy about it. When they tell you to shut up and go live in a tiny house that's the size of a jail cell, that you're going to be happy about it. When they tell you to shut up and, pay 75% of your income in taxes to them instead of 30 to 50% of your income in taxes, that you'll just be happy about it. Like, they want you to live in a world where nobody complains, and anybody who complains about anything are looked at like they're a complete idiot and a lunatic, because they're shitting all over us and they don't want people complaining about it. Duh. But does that mean I spend my whole entire day complaining about everything? No, I've got things to do. So I set these things aside at times. I bring them out in the video. I don't spend the whole video complaining. I talk about all kinds of stuff in these videos. But I think one thing I'm going to do, I've already done it before, is I'm going to take a minute toward the end of a video to just do a little bit of gratitude. And this is more like things that I'm thankful that God has provided in my life, even though my life is a total shit show right now. And so the daily gratitude for today is I'm thankful for my good health. I can walk everywhere I need to go. I'm healthy enough to do it. I don't have any serious ailments. I haven't really had a problem that I've required to go see a doctor for maybe more than 2 times since I was 18 years old, and I'm 48 years old now. So in 30 years, I may have been to the doctor a couple of times, and one of those times was 8 weeks after I broke my arm. I finally went to see a doctor. I didn't know my arm was broken. My elbow was broken. More specifically, it was a radial head fracture. And supposedly, even when the doctor met with me the first time, he said that what I did to treat it was what he would have done. He wouldn't have put me in a cast for a broken elbow. He would have sent me to physical therapy to start lifting weights and doing things and trying to rehab my arm back into shape. And I broke the arm on a road trip, and so I decided to not go home. I decided to just continue on my road trip, and so I'm lifting heavy things. I'm driving a stick shift with my broken right arm. I'm doing all kinds of things with that arm. It hurt. It hurt like hell. But that's the extent of that. Tells you how often I'm going to go see a doctor. I waited 8 weeks until after my arm was broken before I finally said, maybe I need to go see a doctor. So yeah, that's about how much I trust the medical community in this country. But once again, I'm thankful for my good health that allows me to not go see a doctor. And I'm thankful for this YouTube channel and all the virtual friends showing up and all the things that this channel is starting to open up for me. I feel like if I stick with this project for the next 6 months to a year, I have a feeling that it's going to change my life in a lot of positive ways. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my friend, the 2 people in my life that kind of encouraged me to do this when I became homeless. I said that it was my idea. I thought, should I do this? Should I document this? Because, I know a lot of people like watching a train wreck, and this might take off on YouTube. And a couple of my friends were like, yeah, I think you should. And not because they think my life is a train wreck or they're happy about that, but because they want to see something good happen out of this. And so I'm also thankful for not being forced to sleep outside, even though sometimes I would like to right now. The homeless shelter, it is what it is. I think I'm going to be dealing with some more nonsense there this week. And once again, that's what I was talking about earlier. These are the things, always expect the worst, but hope for the best. I'm already kind of expecting certain things to happen. They might not. So, I'm thankful that I haven't gone hungry not one time in the last 10 weeks. I've been homeless for almost 10 weeks. It'll be 10 weeks here on Friday. I think it's 4 days from now. Homeless day 70, 10 weeks, 10 times 7 is 70. Yeah. So on the 70th day, it'll be 10 weeks of being homeless. I'm thankful that I'm still in the running for more than one job opportunity right now. That in itself, even though the job hasn't materialized, knowing that I'm still in the running for more than one, and I have been for week after week after week, it helps keep my mind from going too far down the dark side of the force, you know? It gives me something to look forward to. It gives me some hope. And so that hope is very helpful. Even if these things don't materialize, maybe new things will materialize in between now and then, and I'll constantly have that cycle of hope to look forward to. I'm thankful that I have a phone. Somebody blasted me in the comments yesterday for being a homeless guy. Oh, but he has a phone. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. But I'm thankful that I have a phone and a computer and equipment that allows me to keep pushing ahead and trying to put my life back together and work on this video and do an effective job search and put a portfolio together and all of the different things and work on my photography and all those different things. If I didn't have a good computer at my disposal, I'd be screwed. I'd be screwed right now. I'm thankful that I have a resource like the local library, which has been immensely helpful overall. I mean, I have a workstation. It's one of it's the quietest place that I can sit with my laptop and get things done by far. It's either the library, crazy Tim Hortons, or McDonald's right now, and Tim Hortons and McDonald's are ridiculously loud and distracting, and you know, I'll plow through it for the sake of getting things done, but I can do more at the library. Definitely. The resources at the library are great. I'm thankful that I seem to have found a pretty decent, albeit very small church full of people who care. I've been going there. I think I went 3 weeks in a row now. I think it's been 3 weeks. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks in a row now. And I plan on going there this Sunday. And it's a good place. It's in the network of churches of the main church I used to go to in Pittsburgh, and same denomination, which is a non-denominational church. And I like the place. It's small, it's quaint, everybody knows everybody, they all grew up together. This is like the guy coming in off the street to a family that all knows each other very well, but they've all been good to me. They've all been very friendly and welcoming, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I haven't had any serious problems with the probation department. I've got somebody in the probation department who's actively working to try and get me permission to go live with my best friend in Texas, who's offering me a place to live. And I don't know if that's what God wants me to do. If that doesn't come through, then I'm just going to I'm going to be disappointed. I'm not going to lie, because I need to be able to breathe a sigh of relief at some point. I'm getting worn out from this. This experience is wearing me down day by day. But I'm thankful that I haven't had any serious problems with them. In fact, I've had no problems with them. They're standoffish. They're just checking in with me once in a while, and that's it. And I'm also thankful for my best friend and his wife, who are offering me a place to stay down in Texas. Even though it hasn't materialized yet, and I don't yet have permission to just pack up and go, I'm thankful for the fact that I have somebody out there who's offering that, who's not just somebody doing it out of the kindness of their heart and all that, like a complete stranger might or an acquaintance might do. But this is someone who's like a best friend. I've known this guy since I was a teenager. And so, that's a really cool thing to have that option. And I know this guy. I know his wife a little bit. We've met before more than a few times, but I know this guy inside now. He's a really good friend of mine. Maybe if I move down there, I'll bring him on the channel. We'll both. We used to do a podcast back in the day, and we were a good team. We had a really good time doing that. We didn't stick with it as long as we should have, but we had a really good time. And so with that, I'm just going to blast through the plugs that I feel like sharing with you guys. Free.litgood.com. Sign up for the mailing list, the email list. Like I said, Breaker 19104, that is the way to keep in touch when everything goes down. If YouTube kicks me off the platform and I disappear, email, I'm still going to have this email account. The email account that links to the platform that it's on, I will be able to keep in touch with you guys via email if you sign up for the email list, and that's, the last resort. I'm not going to be sending out more than, I honestly don't think I will send out 4 marketing emails in the span of a year. It's been 3 or more months since I created the email list, and I haven't sent any emails out. When you go to free.litgood.com and you sign up, you will get an email back right away, and that has a link to go download free wallpapers for your devices, my photography, and it's sized in just about any device screen resolution that you can imagine. Both vertical and horizontal portrait and landscape modes for desktop computers and your mobile devices. The store is shop.litgood.com, where you can buy photography. Right now I have maybe 11 or 12 images up there for sale, and I'm going to continue doing some of that. Maybe I'll put a couple up there this week. And then my photography website, litgood.com. I talked yesterday about having to optimize that so it loads faster on your devices. I almost started working on that yesterday because I was kind of in a frame of mind where I wanted to do mindless grunt work that didn't require any serious thought. But I didn't have the 4 hours. I'm probably going to need 4 hours to get that done. And then once again, the digital chicken bucket is located at donate.litgood.com. And thank you to the people who have kicked in, whether you're buying me a coffee or another month of my Adobe subscription. I appreciate all of it. Thank you very much. And I'm on the socials: Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Pinterest. I haven't done anything with it in years, but I raised my Pinterest account from the dead, and I'm probably going to go start cleaning that out and start posting some photography there. So I will keep these video descriptions updated with all of those links. And also, I'm on LinkedIn, very easy to find. If you professionals want to connect, I'm easy to find. And you can also branch out from LinkedIn to my professional portfolio and all the things connected to that side of my life if you're interested in hiring a designer. And with that, I think I'm going to let you all go. I've still got plenty of time before I have to go to this appointment, but the video length is probably pretty long today. And as I check, we're closing in on an hour. And so these videos got long this week. I'm going to get put on blast for the video length. But if you got this far, you're probably, there's probably 10 people out of 100 that get this far. So you're the super fans. I appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully we can talk again, and peace out.